What's up, everyone? Welcome back to more Day 2 coverage from the T5S2 Season 3 Invitational. Today, we are done with Iron Hands. Thank goodness. No more Iron Hands today. Get those idiots out of here. Our last two games have featured 3 Iron Hands players. Wild. It's crazy. Art of War doesn't even think they're good. What's up with that? But we are down to another faction that it's not confusing that Art of War thinks is good, is Adeptus Mechanicus. But this is no normal Adeptus Mechanicus army here today, chat. Doc, a.k.a. DanK, which, if you put the letters together, is funny because it spells DanK, is playing Mixed Imperium, mixing Adeptus Mechanicus with Adepta Sororitas to give them a little bit more close-range punch. Although the trade-off is pretty significant for souping in with Adeptus Mechanicus. You lose your Canticles, and you lose Miracle Dice, and you lose Doctrine Imperatives. So, like, wow, that's a lot. But maybe it's okay. I do like this one Skitaria Ranger model with the Omnispecs. He's looking nice. But let's talk about these lists real quick. Oh yeah, points from the previous game. Wow, it was pretty split, pretty even, but Fushini did take it down, complete that prediction. Boom. Let's do another prediction! DanK Imperium versus Glorak Custodes. I don't know. Good enough. 1 minute, everyone. Who will win the game? The Imperium or the Custodes? Get those predictions in. Yeah, you lose your Canticles as well. Yeah, it's a big loss. But, I mean, if you're hoping that your opponent is going to be worried about you throwing endless hordes of Skitarii into their army, it might be okay. You might be able to get up the board with some Sisters Repentia and get some damage done. He has taken +1 advance in charge on all of his sisters as well as the rights of battle. They actually don't lose their sacred right somehow, but they do lose the ability to gain and despend miracle dice, which is too bad. Or at least the ability to gain miracle dice. Maybe there's another way, but I don't know. But let's talk about these lists real quick here, chat. The list command, I believe, is still borked. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, chat. I entirely disabled and then rebuilt the list command, and it still shows the list from last game. So that's just where we're at. Here are the lists. I will post them in the chat for those who want to follow along with me. You can also find them at tts40k.com/invitational. ! Invitational in the chat will get you there. But let's talk about some Adeptus Custodes and some Mixed Imperium. Let's start with Glorak's list. Glorak's list is a little bit more cookie cutter, although he's got some spice in here that we'll talk about. This is a single Outrider detachment coming out of the Emissaries Imperatus.
Longest relationship I've ever had.
Shuma, thanks for the resub. I'm glad that we go back so far, Shuma. Real quick, let's just take a look at what the Emissaries Imperatus do for our future reference, so I don't talk out my bum here. So that will give them the ability to ignore hit rolls and armor penetration characteristic modifiers, which is a pretty big deal on the Venatari. Gives them a little bit of answer to some factions. I mean, there's a lot of AP ignoring in the game right now, but they also ignoring negative hit modifiers is a really big deal. Obviously, you have things like Drukhari, who have negative hit modifiers across the wazoo. You have factions like Harlequins that also have a ton of them. So 1 CP to ignore negative hit modifiers on those Venatari is a big deal. Although I don't believe that they have any of the other abilities. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to be using that that stratagem for today. So no Shadow Keepers today, which is a pretty big deal. But we're not really leaning into models that are really affected by the Shadowkeeper stratagem. I think you want toughness 6 and you want toughness 8. Those even numbered toughness values are really powerful in conjunction with that Shadowkeeper stratagem for -1 strength against you. But right now we're going to be focusing more on Caladii, which is a pretty big deal because they're only strength 7. And against most strength 8 or strength 9 weapons, that's not really going to do you too much good. Now we also, in this detachment, have 3 Sagittarium Custodians with Misericordias, 3 units of 3, I should say. The Shield Captain on John Eagle Jetbike. John Eagle. That's what we're calling. That's his name now. His name is John Eagle. That's not that funny. With the Auric Aquilasi as the Captain Commander upgrade for Superior Creation and Unstoppable Destroyer, allowing him to pile and consolidate 2d6 inches any direction. We also have a Vexillus Praetor with the Vexilla Magnifica for -1 to hit. Oh, he does have, excuse me, chat. He does have Voice of the Emperor, so he's actually increased the range of that Vexillus to 9 inches. So we are using an Emissary's Imperius Warlord trait. I misspoke earlier. That's my bad. We have 2 Palace Grav tanks as well as, or Palace Grav attacks. They're not called Palace Grav tanks. I've done that before. As well as 3 units of Venatari Custodians, 2 units with Venatari Lances, 1 with the Kinetic Destroyer and Tarsus Buckler, 2 units of 3 with the Lances, and a big unit of 5. There they are. There's the 5 with the gun, and then the other guys. The Venatari Lance makes them a little bit more effective in melee. They go to strength 6, 2 flat damage instead of, I think they're just AP 2 with the Buckler. Yeah. +1 strength 6, AP 2, yeah. But they also have a ranged attack, 2 shots, strength 6, -2, 2 damage. Pretty good against raiders, to be fair. I mean, that's 12 shots hitting on 2s, winning on 4s for 2 damage apiece. Add in some Sagittarium action. You should be able to knock out a raider pretty easily with those guys. Open up the stuff inside to get hit by the Kinetic Destroyers off of the Venatari Custodians. What a badass unit Venatari Custodians are, by the way. Last but certainly not least, the 2 Caladius Grav tanks, both armed with Iliastus Accelerator Cannons, so the strength 7, 2 flat damage, super autocannon profile at 8 shots. A big deal in the metagame ages and ages ago. Caladius got a couple of rounds of nerfs on them and haven't really been seeing much since, but they're coming back. We're bringing it back, the proud Caladius, and I think maybe just a little bit of an impetus not to just, raw dog into Telemon Dreadnoughts or whatever that will get swamped by infantry. These guys do have a pretty high volume of firepower, 14 shots apiece at strength 6 or strength 7. Pretty good against the large numbers of light infantry that the Adeptus Mechanicus and Sororitas are going to be bringing. Moving over to DanK's DanK Imperium. We are going to be looking at Adeptus Sororitas plus Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adeptus Sororitas have coming out of a Vanguard detachment from Order of the Bloody Rose for +1 attack and +1 AP on the charge. We also have, in that detachment, we have 3 units of 8 Sisters Repentia, as well as a Canoness with the Blessed Blade, 2 units of Zephyrim, 5 Zephyrim apiece with Penance, allowing you to reroll charges, and a Repentia Superior to keep those Sisters in line, so they will be able to advance in charge with their Repentia Superior's ability. And we're really just going to be using them as a bit of a counterpunch to the powerful Adeptus Mechanicus shooting that we're seeing. In the remainder of the list, we have a battalion detachment coming out of Lucius. I think no surprise there. GW likes to pick one sub-faction every time they make a codex and push that one to the extreme, and Lucius certainly has that with the ability to redeploy models thanks to the Solar Flare, as well as the ability to transhuman their Skitarii. We have Skitarii Marshal with Programmed Retreat, so allowing a unit within 6 inches to fall back and shoot. We have the Solar Flare on a Tech Priest Engine Seer and a Raymond of the Tech Martyr on a Tech Priest Manipulus. We have 1, 2, 3 units of Skitarii, 2 units of 20 Rangers with Galvanic Rifles. No, not using the Vanguard strat. We're just going to be using the strat for double shots. So they're going to turn their weapons into rapid-fire 2 weapons, allowing them to shoot 4 times, and without the -1 to hit for moving and shooting penalty. They both have data tethers and auspexes. We also have another unit of 20 Skitarii Rangers. No upgrades on them. It doesn't look like. Oh, no, just kidding. Just 2 units of 20. We do have a unit of 5, however, with galvanic rifles. Rounding out the rest of the list, we have a unit of 5 Sicarian infiltrators, as well as 3 units of 2 Iron Strider Ballistarii, all with las cannons. Not a huge shocker there. And 2, a little bit of a callback to some old school lists, 2 Scorpius Disintegrators. Bringing Belros energy cannons. Some powerful indirect fire. Looks like we're rolling to go first here. Dan in with a 2. Glorak with a 5. Winning the roll to go first. Oh, no, excuse me. Glorak with a 2. Dan with a 5. Yeah, so Chandok is going to be taking the first turn. And we're going to see exactly how much damage these Skitarii with that Solar Flare can do. But I think the most interesting pick here is those Scorpius Disintegrators. I think a lot of Adeptus Mechanicus players have been eschewing them. Because they did get a pretty significant debuff in the newest codex. Obviously, they don't have access to things like Belisarius Call to get them a big old reroll hits. They don't have, access to easy exploding 6s from the old aura, the Holy Warlord trait aura. And they only went down to strength 5 instead of strength 6, on their Belros energy cannon. That said, they have such a good profile for indirect fire that it's probably still worth putting 1 or 2 in your list, just so you can try to pick out models who are hiding behind walls, which isn't something it almost, nothing else in the faction can really do that unless you're playing airplanes, basically. But I'll go ahead and throw it back to the players here for the Adeptus Mechanicus command phase.
All these will go on this unit.
Yep.
So dropping those Awakened Machine Spirits on the Iron Striders, and all of the buffs onto the big Skitarii Ranger. That's a unit that's about to teleport across the table, I imagine.
Okay, and these guys are damaged too, right? The Sagittarian.
And damage 3. They've got 2 profiles on the guns.
Is that all my command-based things? I believe so.
So as we move into the movement phase here, we'll take a quick look at the player's secondary objectives. Looks like Glorak, over here on the red side, that's my overlay set up correctly? It looks like it's a little hard to see. Glorak over here on the red side, taking Stranglehold, which we saw Orcspit take with Death Guard in the previous game. A little bit easier for Adeptus Custodes, though, given that they have access to all of that objective secured across the board, allowing them to get those 3 objectives and hold more than your opponent in order to score that Stranglehold. We also have Grind Them Down on that side of the table. Makes a ton of sense, given that this is sort of a very elite style list, and we're going to have a lot of these smaller units that are going to be up for grabs for Glorak to try to take out on his opponent's side. Last but certainly not least, Raise the Banners High, which DanK is also taking. That's a pretty easy one to score in this mission, given that you have 2 objectives that are very difficult for your opponent to get at. So it's a pretty common one to take. Over here on Chiandek's side, we also have Engage on All Fronts and To the Last, which I am not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. That is going to hit... 2 to the last. I'm not sure what it hits. It looks like the two big Ranger units, so he's assuming he's not going to lose those 20 mans, which is probably fair, given how many defensive buffs you can put on them. And it's going to hit one of the Ballistarius units. Yeah, it'll have to be one of the Iron Strider units that you'd mark it. Yeah. He's marked this unit of 2 back here as his last to the last pick. An interesting pick, given that I think often you want these units to be, you know, played very aggressively to grab the center of the table, because your opponent is going to be screening out that solar flare as soon as they have the opportunity to. But that said, chewing through 20 models with such a resilient profile makes a ton of sense.
You weren't allowed to use custom dice.
Oh, am I not?
Or is that a different server, I'm thinking?
I think that was a different server, but if it bothers you that much, I'll use the regular dice. They don't really care either way.
Yeah, that was a precaution against manipulated dice rollers. But I know that these dice rollers are not manipulated, so if you would like to use them, that's okay.
Okay.
Between you and me,
I've
chat,
made horrible mistakes.
I might have manipulated them in my favor. Look out.
What's that?
Oh, I put my manipulations to where this guy doesn't
Oh.
can really-
It's our raid last channel, our last stream. Apologies, everyone. Yeah, chat, maybe it does mean that Adeptus Mechanicus gets hosed. Well, maybe Adeptus Mechanicus only rolls 1s and 2s for its wound rolls, but Custodes only roll 1s and 2s for their saves. So anything that doesn't hit on 1s or 2s, or wound on 1s or 2s, gets obliterated. Adeptus Mechanicus may be annoying for their damage output, but Custodes are also annoying for their incredible survivability. So we'll just nerf both of those by we'll just playing our own dice box. There's a lot of 3 pluses to wound. The Iron Strider's wound on 3s, right? We'll have to get those Repentia in there. That'll do it. So it looks like we're lining up to knock out some Calladii. I think there's a pretty significant chance we see both Calladii get killed here. With those big old chassis, it's hard to actually hide those. But the real question is going to be where the
banner.
Where the Skitarii end up. If we end up solar flaring them in, I sort of have to imagine that we start trying to knock out Venatari Custodians.
Alright.
But we'll see.
I think we're ready to do some shooting.
No, looks like we're just not going to do it. Alright, fair enough.
So we'll start with
That gives you some reactive play later on in the game, for sure.
Iron Striders.
Okay.
Actually, we'll go over here first. So these, Unit 2, they're going to both shoot into the grab tank.
Okay.
Alright, chat.
Shots hitting on forts.
Yeah, should we, should have saved our prediction here, chat, for if Admech went first, so we could bet on how many points of Custodes they end up killing on turn 1.
Nope.
I mean, I think the answer is 2 Grav Tanks, right? Like, that's about it. You just kill 2 Grav Tanks. So it looks like 4 damage through on the first one.
This back unit, same target.
4 Fortunately, that Vexillus is going to be doing the Lord's work over here. Rolling perfectly average to hit. Both wound from the second Balisarius unit. Go Flare Shields. Do we see those 5-up saves? Nah.
Both fail.
Not looking good for you there, bud.
It's 8.
Ooh, but terrible damage rolls coming out of the Mechanicus. Ooh. we may open it up to the Scorpius Disintegrators just to start picking at that guy with their small arms weapons.
Trying to see if this disintegrator has line of sight. Okay, so good.
I mean, terrible being double ones on 2d3, right? Which is only a 1 in 9. So that's the worst possible result you could have gotten from that roll.
If this disintegrator one's hitting on 2s, he's going to put his energy cannon into this grab attack, and then missiles and stubbers into this tank.
Okay. Well, you'd be hitting on 3s because the -1 banner.
Yeah, I know. I was just telling you he had 2 to hit, so you knew I was hitting on 3s. Energy cannon.
I mean, Chad, yeah, it is. We can't argue that that's not a ridiculously overtuned amount of damage that could come out of these 75-point models. But it was also not a good roll.
And then on 3s.
This is for the energy cannon.
Yeah.
Strength.
It's 1 at AP1.
5. Okay, is this into the palace? Yeah.
Yeah.
4 up. Nope. Takes 2.
Okay. Stubbers. Okay, and the other tank. Three armor saves.
3s. Come on, dice. Down to 1.
D6 missile. 3. On 4. 1 at AP2.
Saved.
Okay.
Grab tank survives on 1.
Raider will do the same thing.
Was early 9s the most balanced and competitive 40k has ever been before Drukari and AdMech came out? No, I don't think so. I think early 9th edition, GT 2020, was horrifically unbalanced. The turn 1 win rate was sort of astronomical. Almost every matchup boiled down to, essentially roll to go first, and then we'll kind of pack it up. After the January FAQ, that changed a lot, and I think sort of January FAQ prior to the Drukari release was a really good format. I didn't play so much in that at this point, but I think the at least the most balanced that I felt 40k was sort of mid 8th edition. Sort of 2019, and some of that might be the
Yep. I just wasn't sure.
Some of that might be kind of my inexperience at that point, but it definitely felt like a lot of stuff was very competitive. But that was specifically an ITC format. So if you want to talk about like rote 40k, that isn't. It's not really quite in the same. It's not perfectly 40k because there's house rules essentially in there. Looks like the Flare Shield's saving the second Caladius, so we might only see one go down this turn, which is kind of a shocking underperformance from this Mechanicus army. Although it's just the effect of this Vexillus Praetor, I think. knocking down the hit rolls of a lot of those. Although I think Dan rolled a lot of ones to hit on his first 2 Iron Strider units, in fairness. And we're going to be taking some shots into the Caladius with the
Oh, Lucius, yeah.
Scutarii Rangers.
Different. What kind of rerolls and stuff have you got over here?
They don't have any rerolls at the moment. Because I'm a genius.
4s?
They're ignoring modifiers for Raymond and Technomark.
Is that ignore modifiers?
Yes.
I thought it was just ignore cover.
It ignores all hit and ballistic skill modifiers.
Okay.
So 9 and AP2.
Take 6.
Yeah, chat. We do talk about it quite a bit, but I think the players. I mean, there's kind of a level of prestige at the, or not sure what the word is. We were talking about the Adeptus Mechanicus decision to soup in the Sororitas here, and I think people a lot of times, in this event, they want to kind of showcase interesting list builds. And we certainly saw that. I mean, a lot of players opted not to play Adeptus Mechanicus in favor of more interesting lists. We saw Fire Raptor yesterday. And that was, basically the exact reason why is, to make the games a little bit more interesting. And based on my discussions with Dan about his list so far, that kind of seems like a little bit of that is bleeding into the decision to play a more dynamic version of the list than just a rote gun line. You have a little bit of melee, you have some other mechanics being used, so I can't say for certain that that's the idea behind the list, but it certainly is the effect. I also wonder if Dan was maybe a little bit worried about concentrating too hard on playing a gun line in a group that had potentially 2 very strong Drukhari players in it, or at least Eldari players between Jonathan and Ashley Thompson. And maybe he was worried that had the potential to be a foil to a standard Mechanicus list. So he was hoping to get a little bit more kind of backline presence. So there are a couple benefits to, or at least a couple reasons to soup in, but certainly it does make your ranged firepower significantly worse. So only 1 Caladius Grav Tank killed this turn, as well as the Palace. So what are we looking at? 250 points of models destroyed. Not quite the alpha strike that we were expecting. But we also didn't see a teleport this turn off of a solar flare. So that may be something that we get later on.
Shift. Yeah.
Torin, most excited to see the Tyranids on the table? Me too, man. I'm glad that we got 1 Tyranid in the top 16. So good luck to Jimmy Dore in his games. 300 points on the nose. All right, there you go, chat. I mean, real talk, chat. Souping in current Sororitas is a long cry from souping in previous Sororitas. He could have had old school Retributors or something in here, but no, instead we have, whatever is going on with these guys. So it looks like we're going to grab a couple shots into this Sicarian Infiltrator unit. I would like to see maybe us try to set up some charges on that unit, because removing that early gets rid of a lot of Dan's ability to really consistently score engage in all fronts. Since he could potentially just circuitous infiltrate somewhere else to score engage next turn, if he needed to.
How bold do I need to be? There we go. forwards. Okay, then I'm going to banner with orange, green Venatari, and the orange squad of sags. I'll attempt to banner here, but I'll fail the action if I need to charge. Just put the marker there. Shooting phase. First things first, the Twin Lastrum into the Ballistarius 2 unit, and the Iliastus into your To the Last unit. I can't hear you. Is everything okay? So the Lastrum hits on 2s, wounds on 4s because it's strength 6, 4 at -2.
So these are damage 1, so it's just -1 basically. So 4 up. So I think 2. And that was on the front unit, right?
Yeah.
All right. So some plank damage going into the front unit here, but the real one is going to be how this to the last unit survives.
On 2s, reroll 1s for the captain, and wounding on 3s.
Oh no, Chad!
On the ones at the back.
What a heartbreaker!
That's damage 2.
Oh my god! That's his only remaining Caladius as well. You know, we don't get another try at that. I'm noticing also he put it out of range of the Vixillus Praetor's aura. Oh boy. That's so brutal.
On 2s, reroll 1s, and then on 5s. So 2 at AP1. 2 damage each.
So we knock one of the Ballistarii down. The other one's fine. Oh, what a heartbreaker! That could have been the entire unit if that Caladius shot had converted. Oh no!
This front palace.
All right, second palace. Let's do it.
Blaze cannon are the high profile.
Let's frickin' get it, dude. Unit. 2 shots in the beam profile. We just got to get both of them through. Easy peasy. 2s and 3s.
Reroll 1s for the captain.
Okay, both hit.
Wounding on 3s.
Yes, both wound. He's fine.
3 damage.
Takes 3 down to 1.
Last one into it. Hitting on 2s. Reroll 1s. Wounding on 3s. Reroll to wound against vehicles.
Okay, so we did have 2 more shots coming through. I think the Sagittarum did that 4 damage earlier, chat. I think I misspoke. That was the Sagittarum unit, not the Palace Grab Attack unit. All right, we did get him. Hold the baby.
Annoying as that is.
We're just gonna mark DanK's to the last and count it down as they take damage, so that we get a little bit better of a view at what the current scores are.
9 shots from the first profile. On 3s. On 3s. At 5 at -1.
Okay, so they're getting cover saves, so it'll be worse. So 3 die.
Sagittarum, good. Doing some good work on those infiltrators, but I don't think we're going to be able to knock them out. Oh, we do have the Adraphic Destructor.
2 at AP3.
Ooh, all right, 6 ups here, bud. Oh, kills both of them. Brutal. So that will
So I didn't need to charge there.
be getting Custodes their grind. Wow, this is a lot of damage coming out of this Custodes army right now.
I get throwing them down.
Very unfortunate that the Caladius Grav Tank whiffed so hard, which means that we probably still have another Iron Strider on the table that might have died otherwise. But able to get those infiltrators down, that means that Dan will have to push pretty far forward in order to score his engage on all fronts this turn. But he still has that Solar Flare in the bag, and we also have a unit of Skitarii Rangers teleporting. So he has the potential for 2 units coming in sequentially, as well as all of this FRM.
I think you may have muted your mic again. I can't hear
No, I haven't said anything.
you. Okay.
I use push to talk also, so I'm not.
Sisters are the worst unit in the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. I don't know. Repentia are a pretty good Adeptus Mechanicus unit. I'm going to be honest, chap.
Okay, so all these things are gonna stay on that unit.
Yeah, that trade was not phenomenal for AdMech. Although we have to still consider that they did kill 300 points worth of Custodes models, and each of these Iron Striders is only worth 75. So losing the 2 Iron Striders, you do lose your 2 the last, but you also, I mean, you only lost 150 points of models.
Alright, so I'll just do it on this one.
Iron Striders should get fly, I agree, chap.
Such be a aided charge going around though. Difficult. Do I need to do that though? This guy has a storm shields. He's got 3 up and right.
Yes.
And it's the bike captain on a 4-up.
3 up.
Oh, okay. Bike.
His relic. Yeah.
This looks like a trap. She'll do the advance and charge on
The Custodes tanks do have fly, yeah, chat. They're more agile than the Space Marine versions.
Okay, so
Also, move 14 on the Caladius, 16 on the Palace, I believe. Yeah. I guess, I mean, Truant making a good point, right? If the Iron Striders did grow wings and end up flying, they would just be a Stratoraptor, essentially. No, Chad. All of the Custodes non-Dreadnought vehicles outside of their Land Raider are out of IAC, not Codex Custodes, so they will not be included in a new Codex. Their rules are locked essentially until a new IAC comes out.
So that's a 5-inch charge with a +1.
Oop. Take a look at my Sororitas Codex, everyone.
Let's advance my marshal first before I do something dumb again. This other Penta unit on that objective will advance.
Palace don't have a transport capacity, chat. So the answer is nothing. There's nothing inside the palace. The Coronus, or is it Coronus or Coronus? What's it called? I guess that's the same. The Coronus is the big transport that they have, but they don't. He doesn't have any of those. The the unfortunately named Coronus transport. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get demonetized on YouTube, chat. Talking about Coronus transports. I mean, they're gold. They're like they're kind of a nice gold color, so maybe they're just sponsored by Corona beer.
Ton of banner.
You don't know.
They have Mr. Cordius, right?
Yep.
Probably murder these. Okay, so that unit's there. Okay. So they've got everything moved. Yeah, decided I didn't want you to shoot these off and just take me off my objective. I wouldn't like that. So. All right, so everything's down. So we'll go to this back unit. The Rangers, they're just going to shoot everything into the Venatari.
Okay.
It's 5, right?
Strength 4. Yep.
So 8 at AP1.
Okay. I'll take. Because there's 2. At least one of them would get cover. The second one wouldn't. Yeah. So I'll just do these 3 at a time.
They have an Omni spec, so ignore cover.
Oh, do they? Okay, I'll just do them all at the same time then.
Good thing I remember my own rules.
4s. 3. Just 1.
Okay.
So no solar flare again this turn,
Here.
but I think
Energy cannon and
saving it
grab tank.
for later seems fine right now, especially since the Rangers can fire the long distance already.
Stubbers. So 5 armor saves.
Because that's on the Venatari, so 2s because cover. Or are they ignoring cover as well?
No.
Okay, take 1.
D6 missiles. One at AP2.
Goes through.
2 damage. Energy cannon. One at AP1.
It's into the Cladius, wasn't it?
Yep.
So 4s. That's fine.
Okay. So second disintegrator, same thing. Actually, he'll do his energy cannon into. We'll wait on him. Actually, let me go to these Iron Striders. They're going to shoot into the palace right there.
Okay.
All right, grab attack. Looks like it's going to be curtains for you
The
pretty
one who's
shortly
going to
here.
first.
We are -1 to hit. I'm curious about. I think this might have been a mistake to put the Caladius outside of the -1 to hit from the Vexillus Praetor. He's not really doing anything, being a 1 inch farther forward.
0-1 for the Marshal. 2 saves.
Hopefully, it's not a huge deal.
1 goes through.
I imagine we still see that Caladius get taken out regardless.
So if we reroll that, it's like a 30% chance to kill him.
Only 1 wound going through in the palace here. Could see a CP reroll into a kill. Survey says. Doing it.
I'm going to reroll the damage.
All right. Drum roll, please. Does it die? No, it takes the same.
No, still the same.
Good job, Pal's grab attack.
That's a standard.
It's they're D3+3, aren't they? Yeah.
Yep. No, just rerolling a 1 into a 1 is standard, so.
Yeah.
Or at least for me it is. So this disintegrator, he'll do stubbers. His stubbers and his missiles into this, and then his. We'll wait on him. We'll go to the Skitarii here. Okay, so there's, I think, 7 that are out. So the 13 that can see the grav tank will shoot to the grav tank. The other 7 will go into this Banatari.
Okay, I'm going to spend 2 on the grav tank.
If I were to start a new army today, what would it be? So it looks like there's an Emperor's Auspice on the graph to the Caladius here, by the way. We're going to try to knock it out with the Skitarii Rangers. Ignoring the rerolls. No Dominus in the back here, which would be nice. But obviously without the rerolls it wouldn't matter.
3 at 82. Sorry, 2 at 82.
Takes 2.
Venatari down to 1. Just to just to rub it in on those Skitarii. Get out of here. You're gonna have to shoot this whole other unit at me.
So 26. The grav tank.
Ooh.
Sure glad I reroll 1s there.
A ton of ones. That Emperor's Auspice looking real strong now.
7 at 82.
7 going through. On that 5-up save. It looks like it takes 5 down to 3. Oof. If only you were in the Vixilla aura there, bud.
Is his bottom at 2 or is it 3?
Bottom's at 3.
Okay, so he's what, hitting on 4s now?
Yep.
Alright, so if I were to own an army, Kid a Crew asks, what would it be? I think it would be Harlequins, to be honest. Maybe some sort of Eldari. The one thing I don't like about the Eldari, there's some of the aesthetic is a little bit weird. I mean, especially when you talk about Craft Worlds, their models are just so old and gross. But Harlequins look a little strange, but they're fine, I guess. But the one thing I don't love about them is that they rely so heavily on their psychic phase. And let me tell you, as somebody who plays a faction who already relies on their psychic phase, sometimes it's a little rough. But a Tyranid psychic phase is like a bonus. The buffs you give are not crucial, they're just handy. Whereas missing a Quicken or a Twilight Pathways thanks to a bad psychic phase can be absolutely brutal to a game plan, and you can lose the game because of it. So that's one part about them I don't like, but otherwise I think they fit my playstyle. They're pretty good. I have played Chaos Space Marines, yeah. I do like Chaos Space Marines, at least the previous versions, because I am sort of a big fan of kind of combo play. So being able to assemble a big combo out of a bunch of different, interlocking pieces and then having it go is pretty sweet. And especially, like, Chaos Space Marines also have, like, a high movement quotient, I guess. +3 to cast on Quicken, sure, but it doesn't, like... When you gotta get that sub-faction trait to ignore the deny, right? Or the perils. Like, that's it's the part that's brutal. Or just like you run, sometimes you just have to be into a 4+ deny or a Deepest Shadow or something like that, and you're just like, oh, this is bad.
CP reroll this phase.
Okay.
On the damage.
Yep, you're right. Sorry. Okay, so 1 shot. 1 save, 2.
This is on the Venatari, right?
Mhm.
I'll CP that. Nope, goes through.
Energy cannon.
So
on the tower.
Venatari in the center have been destroyed.
One hit. -1 to hit for the banner.
It was felt like a little bit of a trade down for the Venatari, although I mean, fortunately for Glorak, they did net him at least an extra point for the banner, so he did give them away for a Stranglehold plus the raised banners, which is fine. Although he doesn't really need them for the Stranglehold, right? Because he just needed to run up and grab this one because the AdMech we're only on 2 objectives anyway. So yeah, I mean, it was a little aggressive.
So we're gonna
Doesn't feel amazing to lose a huge expensive unit to that.
put all 4 of these shots into the grav tank.
Okay.
So big overcommittal on the grav tank here. Just make sure it goes down, because that thing will rip through some Iron Striders hardcore. Maybe aiming for the 15 primary, but like, I mean, you know, those guys they're super dead once they're there, right? Like, there's no way that that the unit survives.
All right, so I think that is everything.
So Caladius grav tank, oh my god, shakes the last cannon shot off of the Iron Striders with that flare shield save. That's a huge deal.
You going into charge phase?
Oh, maybe looking for a Tanglefoot grenade off of the Vexillus Praetor. That's why he's so far forward. Yeah, okay. I get it now. I understand, chat. I think he... Yeah. Could have pushed it a little bit farther back, but...
5.
Oh, -5 movement on the Repentia as well, so they're going to need a huge charge to get it on these palace. Oh, no. DanK may be playing into the...
Are going to
Playing right into it there.
Okay, so they need a 10.
So they get to roll 3 dice and discard.
All right. 3d6, pick 1. Nope, that's not going to do it. Do we see a CP reroll here? Yeah, the clutch Tanglefoot grenade was real.
I guess I will reroll.
That's so easy to walk into, too, chat. It's so easy to forget that one little infantry idiot over there who's 12 inches away. You know, I won't do it. Ah,
So,
gives away the Repentia unit for nothing, and that
9.
will
You said you want
give.
+1,
yeah.
so fail.
Okay. The Zephyr.
Yeah, that will give Glorak, I think, the 15er, unless the Zephyrim can get in. They do have +1. They do. They do get in on the Palace Grav attack, so they will be able to hold it. Okay. Well, we get fishing for 10s, 3rd time's the charm. Sounds about right.
More than 3, correct?
I can.
Oh, or maybe considering a stooping dive?
I can heroic with any unit, or I can spend... I could spend that.
Well,
Just-
this was my final movement, so I'm
Just casual. The casual.
No, I could spend 1 CP to heroic with any unit,
But
or I
that's only
could
3
stooping
inches,
dive
right?
for, yeah, or I could stooping dive with my captain for 3 CP, which lets him charge.
Yeah, to answer the question, the Custody stratagem lets you perform a heroic intervention, but it doesn't require that you are eligible to perform it. So you just move 3 inches. So it threatens 4 inches, basically, is the real answer. It's basically a 4-inch heroic.
Okay, so these are gonna finish their charge.
Some delectable Games Workshop.
Okay, I'm gonna go into fights unless you.
Wording there.
No.
No Terminators on the Custody side of the table, chat. It's all tanks and jump pack men today. And I think it's one of the most interesting things about the Custodes Codex in general, or, I mean, not the Codex, the Custodes IAC entry. Because it's effectively what this army is. Everything but the characters is out of IAC. Great. But the interesting thing is that they have so many viable builds, even though they only have like 12 data sheets. And we're seeing that here. I mean, Caladi and Palace and a bunch of jump pack men versus you could play the Terminators, you could play the Infantry, you could play the Telemon Dreadnoughts. A lot of different ways to build Custodes, and all of them are effective.
They're bloody rose, right? So
It'll be an extra 5.
Now 5s. 6 at AP3.
Only 6 on the Palace Grav attack, but they do outnumber it on the objective, so they will be blocking Glorak's 10-point or 15-point primary turn. Whew! It took a couple tries, but we got there. We we stopped the big turn.
I'll put 3 on engage or 2 on engage.
Yeah.
But
Palace fights back. 2 attacks.
Unfortunately,
Nope.
having to give away the Repentia for nothing there is a little bit awkward. And now these Ephraim are probably just going to die to the Sagittarium in melee. I imagine you don't even move the Palace Grab attack. You just hang out with it.
So I get 3 banners.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring Wardens either, champ. For sure. Or like the Land Raider. I guess you probably don't want to bring the Land Raider. But yeah, there's so much else going on in that faction. That's so good. Or the regular Contemptor, right? They have like a venerable Contemptor that's like doesn't have duty eternal. Don't bring that. It's 20 points cheaper. Yeah, chat. You right. So Palace Gravitech is going to fall back. We're just going to come back to the back here. And so we may just shoot the Zephyrim to death. Although, you want to be dumping those 2 damage shots into the Iron Striders. But that does open them up to a pretty solid charge. And even if the Unstoppable Destroyer Captain comes up here and just touches this objective, he has objective secured being a Custodes biker. So he will take that objective away, regardless of whether or not the Zephyrim survive. Obviously, Dan would much prefer them survive, so he scores easier engageable fronts. But Dan brought in most of his reserves last turn. He brought in both of his Katarii Ranger units. I think he just has one more Zephyrim team. Or did he bring that in as well? Oh, they came back here on Objective 1. Yeah, he mentioned that he was worried that the Ballistarius would get killed, which is fair. So he brought in a second unit to shore that objective up. Makes a ton of sense. That's a really heads-up play, especially since he was kind of banking on the Caladius being alive, despite the fact that it was highly unlikely that it survived, and it got very lucky to survive. But a lot of people would just assume that thing would be dead. I mean, you're playing an Adeptus Mechanicus army, and you have 8 Cognis las cannons left. Like, how is a tank going to survive? Well, it could just be -1 to hit, or in this case, just make all of its 5 invulnerable saves. And then you lose 5 points if you didn't put another second unit on that objective.
8.
Can you imagine being in bottom bracket chat and having an 8-inch move? That'd be so cool.
Pretty.
The final to the last unit was these 2 Iron Striders, chat. The 2 the last hit the 2 big Skitarii bricks, the 2 20-man Skitarii units, and that last unit of Iron Striders. Now, I should say, we've been talking up how well Glorak has been doing so far in this game. Just on the virtue of that, he hasn't lost too much. Like, he lost 1 Caladius, basically 1.5 Caladii, 1 unit of Venatari. But we have to remember that, I mean, the power of Adeptus Mechanicus isn't... It is oftentimes their ability to alpha strike, but that isn't all that they have going for them. They also have the fact that all of these models are ridiculously inexpensive. This army's basically built out of 8 or 9 bricks of 150 points, each of which trades up for significantly more than its points cost. And while Dan is incentivized to keep that unit alive, he doesn't necessarily have to. He could throw them out. He loses the 5 points, but if he gets, if he gets forward on primary, and his opponent doesn't have an excellent way of removing them, they're just going to be able to obviously take objectives away for a while. Looks like we are going to be moving the Venatari out with those kinetic destroyers. Strength 6 weapon, good into the Iron Striders. And with the stratagem superior firing patterns to double tap their pistols, we could potentially just see them knock this unit of Iron Striders out wholesale right here. With that big old revolver. The Custodes have lost one Caladius and a unit of Venatari so far, chat. These poor gentlemen got to put a banner in the middle of the table, but all the shooting went into them, and they went down. And they lost a palace as well, I guess. Oh, no, they didn't. They have a palace almost dead.
Those Ice Riders.
Sure.
But one of them had to fall back, so it didn't get to attack this turn.
Oops. Reroll to wound. 1 at -4. 3 damage.
Bit of an interesting sequence of attacking here. You could save the 3 damage attacks for later on in the phase, because you have a lot of the Sagittarum shooting into this unit, and there's 2 damage attacks into a 4 wound left model is like so valuable. But you might also want to just be able to put those into the Zephyrim if you need to.
The bike captain's going to put a melter missile into them.
Yeah, especially since now we're going to waste potentially a melta shot into a 1 damage model.
Hits on 2s.
A little bit awkward.
Wounds on 3s. Wounds on 3s.
I mean, maybe just shoot the Caladius at it and hope the 1 damage gun kills that last guy, and the 2 damage gun does the maximum damage. Although, you might want to turn it around onto the last remaining unit of Iron Striders. It does feel like Tiantok might have the numbers to kind of swarm the board, but just because of how the game has been playing out, it's kind of turning into 2 separate mini games. We have this push right here of the Custodes up the left-hand flank versus the Skitarii's sort of endless robotic march down the right-hand flank with these 6 poor Sagittarum trying desperately to hold them off. And I think, just in terms of the momentum of the game, I mean, it looks to me like the Custodes are significantly advantaged in this situation. The push on their flank is going much better than it is on the AdMech flank.
A little bit. 8 shots. And the aliens does 1 4s. Reroll 1s. 3s. 3 at -3. He explodes.
So we had an explosion on the last Iron Strider there, getting killed by the Caladius, killed a Zephyrum with it. Rip. If the AdMech had Fulgurite Priest instead of the Toaster. Which one's the Toaster, chat?
Sagittarum into the Zephyrim here. And T5S Repentia. Sagittarum into those Repentia with the long range.
Oh, instead of the Disintegrators? I think the Disintegrators are fine. They're doing okay. I think the real comparison is whether you take Fulgurites or the Sisters Repentia in this situation. The Repentia are much better than Fulgurites in almost every respect. Oh my god. Good thing those Sagittarum hit on 2s, but they did miss a bunch of attacks with all those 1s.
5 at -1 on these Repentia at the back.
And vulnerable saves looking good for the Repentia as well. To a 5+ damage ignore with a reroll.
Okay, kills 3.
But the flip side is that the Fulgurites obviously do not break your your faction abilities, whereas the Sororitas do.
Five at -2.
Okay, so they're in cover, so 4-ups.
I mean, you can also just play more Sicarians. Like, Sicarians are fine in melee. They're not good. Like, they won't, they won't punch knights to death like Repentia will. But if you're looking for something to deal with, like, units that get through your withering fusillade of firepower, I think Sicarians are probably just fine.
These Venatari are going to Superior Fire Patterns, and they're going to shoot everything into these two.
All right,
unit 2 Iron
here's the big
Striders.
double tap out of the Venatari. Let's see it. I'm always excited for this gunshot. Big 20 attacks. Hitting on 2s. We reroll for that captain in the
Roll 1s
building.
for the captain.
Very nice. 100% hits. Wounding on 4s for AP2, 2 damage.
6s explode.
He rolled 8 6s. Oh my god. Oh, big shot here. And a huge number of wounds coming through as well.
So
14 saves on 5-ups on the Iron Striders. That will not save them. Goodbye. God dang. What a sick unit Venatari Custodians are, chat. In fairness, very expensive, though. That was like a super duper trade down.
Both these Sagittarium are going to fire pie into the Skitaria Rangers here with all of your nonsense on them.
I have seen some people use like Age of Sigmar models as Venatari Custodians. I think there's some like sort of angelic Age of Sigmar models, and you just arm swap them, and that's where a lot of people are going to convert Venatari. Obviously, you can't play in Games Workshop's like quote unquote official tournaments, but I don't think any other tournament would turn you away for those.
So 3-ups.
Why 3s?
Because they have cover from Firepoint telemetry. And I ignore AP 1 and 2.
Okay.
Kills 2.
So slowly but surely trying to get rid of the Rangers, but it's going to take a while.
Another unit into them.
Ew.
Another 4.
Not a good wound roll. Kills 3 Rangers, though. These terrible saves. Oh, my God. Okay. Wow. All right. So every Iron Strider killed on the AdMech side of the table. Rangers dropping quickly. We've already killed a quarter of that unit with 2 random Sagittarium attacks. And now we're going to see the charge probably wiping out the Zephyrum and the remaining Sisters Repentia in this unit.
Into the Zephyrum.
Another unit of Sisters Repentia already half down, thanks to the Sagittarium shooting. But the downside is you're going to have to eat 1 attack from Sisters Repentia, I think, with this Venatari Custodian unit after the shooting hits them. You do have, I mean, you can save CP for potential transhuman into an Emperor's Auspice, or excuse me, arcane genetic alchemy into an Emperor's Auspice. So that their Zealot doesn't trigger, so you're not rerolling, and then they're only winning on 4s into your 4+ invulnerable save. That will keep the unit alive, but they will still take some damage from the Repentia. I believe the fight on death for Repentia is a stratagem chat, so you would be able to use it. I can double check that though.
Okay, on to fight phase. Let's do.
It is a 2CP stratagem, yeah.
To the Repentia first.
Okay. You want to pay 2 for them for Desperate for Redemption?
What's that one?
They get to fight when they die.
Okay.
All right, here we come.
Okay, I'll make that. 15 attacks.
Yeah, definitely going to be good here, chat.
And on 2s. 13 at...
Pretty good. Yeah, that should grab the unit.
-2.
Is it an? It is an actual fight on death, yeah, chat. It used to be a double fight actually, but now it's just the regular thing. All right, here they come.
There's 6 of them.
Get the swings back.
When they target me, I'm going to Emperor's Auspice them.
Ooh.
So no rerolls.
Spending the Emperor's Auspice now.
They normally reroll to hit, right?
I'm reading my strat.
Pardon?
I'm reading what my strat says.
Book time with DanK. Yeah, I guess it's a question of whether they choose a target. I mean, it just fights. Yeah, so you go through the entire fight phase process. So yeah. So essentially the first one would attack, and then he would get to trigger the Emperor's Auspice there, and it would affect all of their attacks. 4 going through, and then 4+ save. We'll probably lose a Custodian here. Survey says we threw a die really far. It's impressive.
1.
1 takes 2 damage. Ew, not a great trade for those Repentia. Although they did bleed 2 CP out of the Custodes for that Emperor's Auspice. And then we're going to use the Consolidate to get them closer to the Zephyrim. Very good use of the fight phase movement here. To get a couple of them in behind cover so that the remainder can potentially survive a little bit longer. So I think...
No, the bike captain into the Zephyrim.
Coming back on Chandok's turn, I think we have to... I mean, I don't think there's a universe in which these Zephyrim survive. But I think we have to probably see a Solar Flare on one of these units this turn. Although the Solar Flare guy is so far away. Why isn't he nearby the Rangers? It's so sad. But a Solar Flare could potentially get units maybe into this pocket or on this side of the table so we can start dealing with these Sagittarum. Maybe he's hoping he can wait until the Caladius goes down and so that he can start dropping models into the back here with the Solar Flare.
Destroyer to consolidate D3+3.
So Unstoppable Destroyer triggering on this captain to get him wherever he wants. But we may have to see some creativity on Dan's part to get these Rangers into Objective 4. Maybe they just advance. They actually don't have really many good targets. So we might just see that unit run up to run an Objective 4 through the difficult terrain. But out of range on the teleport on the other unit, which is going to be awkward.
And morale on your Rangers and Repentia.
Yeah, you trigger Solar Flare at the end of the movement phase, but the units are...
Auto-pass the Rangers, the objective.
That costs 2, you only had 1.
Yeah, I know. There's an admix strat that if you're within 6 inches of an objective, everyone that has
Okay.
morale test their auto-passes.
Yep. Can confirm.
So you lost 3 out of Repentia, so you...
The
6.
awkward part is that the units are so far away that if they both just walk without advancing, they actually don't reach each other within 6 inches for the solar flare. So you're you're too far away. It's just too far away. So we have to like wait a turn basically to trigger, unless you want to trigger on this unit, but then nobody's getting to this objective. So like the sequence is so awkward. Anyway, moving on to bottom round 2. DanK grabbing 2 more primary objective points. Or 10 more primary objective points, excuse me. Yeah, so the Solar Flare model is this Tech Priest right here, right? And the unit starts here. To get within 6 inches to target them with the Solar Flare, they have to be 18 inches away from each other, and they are like 19. I guess you can advance the Tech Priest. Yeah, okay, I guess that would do it. Yeah, so you could advance the Tech Priest and then keep the unit from advancing. All right, we've solved it. David G, I appreciate it. We've run through all of the possible permutations. We just have to make sure that there's a path to get around these guys, basically, assuming his advance roll isn't super far. So this unit just moving, not advancing. We may try to advance the Skitarii Marshal onto Objective 4. We also potentially have the tank that would have to advance to get to that objective as well. Probably considering maybe a double tap on the Rangers into the Sagittarium unit to try to knock them out. So maybe we're just considering moving the formation up again and saving that redeploy teleport for later. You give up so many free points to the Custodes if you don't go and grab this objective, though. Oh, that's so many free points. They get the banner for free. They get Stranglehold automatically at that point. Assuming that... I mean, no, basically automatically. Even if you kill this unit here and knock this objective off, they're going to be grabbing this. So it's literally they just score 4 VP if nobody gets to that objective. Maybe a Calavius goes over there, or a Scorpius goes over there, but I can't imagine that happening. Yeah, we're measuring out their weapon range. This feels like damage at the expense of board position, I'm going to be honest, chat.
She's doing her thing on the big unit.
Okay.
Here come the Repentia. Go get them, girls. And we do have interrupt CP available for the Custodes, but on the flip side, they are going to be, if they do interrupt, they won't have any Emperor's Auspice available for them, and vice versa. So you may have the potential to slam in with both Repentia unit right now. Here they come. Huge advance. Big 12 inches with the +1. Come on in, ladies.
They're whatever 1 inch is away from you.
Yep.
Imperium.
Well, champ, I think this turn is going to make or break the game for Dan for certain.
So we'll go to...
He's going to need to do crippling damage, probably to this flank of the table with his attacks this turn. If he doesn't, he's being screened out from a lot of the table. The Custodes are going to continue to farm secondary objectives pretty effectively, and if the Venatari don't get laid low this turn, they're just going to clear the Repentia and start pushing to this objective with impunity, essentially.
Okay. This top unit, they're all going to shoot into the teal Sagittarium.
Yep.
So level's 5, so there's 15 in there.
So the front unit of Scutarii going into the first Sagittarium unit. So we need to basically knock both of these units out, or at least severely cripple them with the shooting this turn. And I imagine that's where all of these shots are going to be going.
One's the Marshal.
Oh.
12 at AP2.
Big 12
AP2
shots, yeah, because we have a mini place.
Because they have galvanic field.
Yeah.
They
I'll
are
be
covered.
getting... Oh, yeah, okay, so all on the 4-ups.
12 on 4-ups shouldn't kill the unit, but it will do a significant amount of damage. Let's see what we get. Okay, no, just kidding. It kills one. Whatever.
Yeah, what's so bad now, is it?
Ooh. Just roll good, you know? It's fine, chat.
Better than 50%.
Yeah, that's almost way better than 50%.
Right, so this back unit, they're all going to shoot into the orange unit.
Okay, going into the other Custodian squad with the second unit of Scutarii. Let's see it.
What's the Marshal? Ten at AP1. Ignore cover.
Only 10 damage that time.
Okay, so 3s. No. Yeah, ignore cover, yeah.
Let's roll.
Into the box.
Come on.
Into the box. There we go.
Ooh, that one was not so
wow,
good.
Okay, lose one. One's on one.
5 goes through, half kills the unit. All right, well, that wasn't the best. Can we pick that last guy off with a shot somewhere? We have a Magna Rail Lance off of Manipulus, but it is 3 damage.
Bounce off the.
We got these 5 idiots in the back here. Shoot those guys. Try to kill that one dude. Do it. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him with a gun.
All right, so this disintegrator is going to. He's going to put his stubbers into the grab tank and then. Shoot his missiles into the grab attack and energy cannon into the 2 wound grab attack.
It's a solid split.
So energy cannon.
Hopefully we can see it knock out these 2 little tanks that have been surviving so long. That would go a long way to shoring up the AdMech position in this game.
Two at AP1.
It's on the 2 wound. 1.
Yep.
Both passed.
Yep, it's been happening a lot. All right, so missiles.
Not wrong. So the 2-1 survives the Belarus shot. We got missiles into this other one. Only 4 wounds on it. 4 shots. Getting 3 hits through, winning on 3s. Let's see it.
Yeah, I just missed the aura with that one.
Didn't put him in the Vexilis aura. It's been happening a lot today. Oh, but the dice go cold for AdMech. Only 1 wound through. And it takes it.
Goes through.
For 3, leaves it on 1. Oh my god. If he had declared the Stubbers into this guy, it would have been great. But no. Stubbers into the Caladius. At -1 to hit, which certainly hurts.
This one is in the aura.
But big wound roll. 4 wounds through. A flubbed roll here. Could see a dead Caladius. That would be amazing. No, it saves everything.
No, they're all saved.
Easy game. Just make all your saves, chat. That's how you play Adeptus Custodes.
That's our story so far.
Not wrong.
All right, so second tank. He's gonna do missiles missiles into the grab tank, stubbers into the grab attack on 1 wound, and the energy cannon on the 1 and 2 wounds.
Yep.
It's the energy cannon. And this guy will be hitting on 3s.
Pause. Oh, you gave it +1 to hit, okay.
1 save.
Oh boy.
Saved.
D6 misses. Oh, we rolled the number of shots.
Rerolling the single shot into 2 shots. A 2x increase in number of shots. We did.
52.
Is this AP 1 or 2?
AP2.
5s.
One goes through.
Damage.
Big 3 damage. Knocks out the Caladius. Right? Yeah.
Doesn't explode.
No explosion. All right, so the Caladius is finally dead after multiple turns of an entire Adeptus Mechanicus army shooting at it. Finally got rid of it.
Three armor saves.
Makes all the armor saves from the stubber shot again. Part of this is that Adeptus Mechanicus make a lot of individual small attacks,
So
which sort of over the course of a game pile up a lot of damage, but individually it is not a lot happening. We do have exactly 3 wounds remaining of Custodes' vehicle.
Okay.
Now we're going to try to knock out that last Sagittarum with these 5 Rangers in the back. Let's see it, boys! Let's roll 5 up here. Boom. 3 saves.
3 AP1.
So 3, 2 ups because cover. Are they, or have they got the Omnispecs as well?
No, they don't.
Oh, they make all the saves. Correct. So we don't have that cute Magnum Rail land shot to knock out the last remaining guy.
All right.
Too bad. Yeah, I think
The Manipulus will shoot into.
I think we needed to maybe spend some resources to buff these guys to make sure that we could get rid of the Sagittarum. But the saves in the Sagittarum have been really good so far.
100 AP3.
Well, it goes through.
And unfortunately have to waste the Magnum Rail lance shot on that last dude. Unfortunate.
Cool.
Yeah, that was not quite the turn that we needed to see.
Okay, I'm going to start declaring charges now then.
Yep.
Right, so 5-man units, I'm going to declare them into blue and the green unit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Blue and green. It's a little awkward. I'm not sure you can fit a Repentia base inside this little space right here, so it could be a little weird
It's an 8.
to get directly in there. Oh, I guess you can. Never mind. Yeah, that's fine. Well, good call. Keeping outside 4 inches of the shield captain for that 4-inch, weird 4-inch heroic intervention that Custodes have access to. But that should not be a problem for the unit to pile in through the wall. Grab attacks on both those units, and then that has stopped them from overwatching into the blue unit, who are going to come into the blue unit of Venatari. Not to mention that this could potentially, on the potential interrupt, if the blue Repentia go into this side, majority, they did roll an 11-inch charge as well. They could potentially split the unit into 2 groups that have to attack 2 separate units, so an interrupt on that unit isn't even as powerful as it could otherwise be. So I think some good combat positioning here for Chiandok.
Okay.
And then the offensive superior.
And we are everybody in on this Venatari unit. Go get them, girls. Not a great charge, but it will get her in, especially with that +1. All right. Well, we didn't do so hot on the left-hand side of the table. Let's see if the right-hand side can shore things up a little bit.
Interrupt on an objective or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Not wrong.
Okay, well, I guess we'll go with the blue unit first.
Okay. I'm going to Emperor's Auspice the Venatari.
So it turns off Zealot on the... I imagine he means the Buckler unit. That's the only target anyway, so it's fine. G and DanK trying to get these girls in for an engage. Nope, can't do that. They're within 6 inches of the center. So he will not be engaging this turn unless one of these other units can get into it.
Okay, so it's 24 attacks.
Yep.
All right, big swings out of the Serpentia unit. Do we see the Venatari finally go down? Emperor's Auspice will make things awkward, but that's all he has going for him. No transhuman on these, or arcane genetic alchemy anymore. And who even needs Emperor's Auspice? Winning on 3s, right? Are they winning on 2s or 3s?
On 2s, because they have +1 to wound from the...
Oh, they got plus. Yeah, you're right.
Say P4.
Okay, so there's one left in the unit.
Good stuff. All right, well, the Auspice did save the unit, but maybe not enough for the second Repentia squad to get in and get it done. No Emperor's Auspice on the Venatari squad. Their lower armor won't really hurt them that much because we're going to be hitting on invulns the entire time. But that is a big swing. That is what Adeptus Mechanicus needed to get right back in this game. They were in a tenuous position with that big pistol squad still remaining on the table, able to really just come in and blow up a tank or most of a Vanguard squad anytime it needed to.
So that'll be 5, so 15 attacks. Saves.
10 saves in on that little squad, and 4 go through, so we're going to... yeah, 4 go through, so we're going to lose 2 Venatari. I mean, the roll's still coming out here for the... for the Repentia. Or for the Custodes, I mean. They're still doing pretty good.
No.
So it's your fight.
Yep. Are they within an inch? No. So just this guy. 4 attacks with his spear. Hitting on 2s. 2 rolling 1s. Strength 6. So 2s. 4 AP3.
Damage.
2 damage each.
Okay.
And then his Misericordia. 1s and 3s to wound. Nope. Other than that, it's just morale on my Venatari. Lost 4, leadership 8, so on a 5. No, he goes.
Ooh, the last Venatari who flees. Oh, no.
So 15 primary. Raise the banners for 3. Okay. Definitely can't see from there, can it?
Not this boat is walking in.
Both Gravitax, fortunately for them, still alive.
Okay.
Able to push up, I think. Yeah, sending the shield captain to maybe try to grab that last remaining objective. He will obsec it away, so break the banner and grab it for the stranglehold point. But the charge is going to be awkward to get him into the Zephyrim. Although he's probably okay if Chiandok wants to send a bunch of shots down his way. Now, I almost wonder if the correct play on this side of the table might be to pull this model back so that he's hidden by the wall, and then use these models to body block areas to drop in with that solar flare. You can move them out here and here. Something like... so that they're going to be screening out into the back edge on this area and then out 9 inches to somewhere over here. So that's going to make this guy really hard to be seen. So even if Dan ports a unit over there, he would only lose the 1 Sagittarium squad instead of losing the objective.
Pull back the Venatari.
And that's what Glorak needs to do. Yeah, and Glorak at the 15-point primary, because nothing made it to this objective on Dan's side of the table. That's such a big primary swing.
So
Oh, yeah.
Really, I'm so surprised Dan didn't try to get anything onto this objective. It would have broken the banner. It would have made that stranglehold harder. And it would have denied 5 primary points that Glorak really needed. Because Dan going is about to have so much presence in the center of the table with all these Guitarii Vanguard coming in. But Glorak moving into the back here. Not sure about that. Yeah, I don't know about this position. I think you just have to sacrifice these two.
What's up, Nerds SS?
What's up, nerds? Fucini, thanks for the subscription. Welcome back. Fucini high off of his win earlier this morning.
You kill.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake from Glorak. What this is going to let Dan do is potentially run this guy over, pull the 15-man from this side of the table all the way over here, and just literally wipe all those units out.
Sagittarium into those Repentia.
Oh, he's towed on the wall as well? Oh, no. They're all just going to die. Ugh, Glorak, why? No. No. I mean, he doesn't even need to teleport anymore. He's just dead.
No, this is the orange unit going into the blue Repentia.
So just the one guy? Or...
yeah.
Okay.
So 2 AP1. 2 damage.
So we had a question from Wall7086. When does Season 4 start? So the first rapid fire pod for Season 4 is open right now, actually. I think there's a link, ! Events. It's listed as a Season 3 event, but we moved it up to a Season 4. And rapid fire pods will continue to launch for the next couple of days as long as people sign up for them. Season 4 regular pods should start later next week. So we're going to start pulling those Sinsters Repentia off with the Sagittarium shooting.
This Palace into this Repentia unit with the burst profile. Three at -2.
This one.
These Sagittarium into them. 9 shots.
The rapid fire pods, while have an entry fee, they cost $10 to sign up for. They're only 8 players and they go 3 rounds, but then the winner gets a gift card at the end.
Or at -1.
That's in these two, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to be pulling 1 unit of Repentia off. The second one will probably remain unless we get one of these characters in to wipe them out. But that is a little dangerous.
You're unmuted, Trev.
Oops.
I think that was a good observation, though, huh?
This Palace into the Zephyrim.
I really think both of these palaces should have been dead.
I must have missed one of my. I must have hit the hotkey to unmute myself in Discord.
Oh, only 2 at -2.
Good observation that Sisters Repentia are dangerous. You heard it here first, folks. This unit of Sisters Repentia can kill some stuff. Yeah, so the rapid fire pods go in 1 week, chat. It's a 1 week schedule, and then the winner at the end gets the
profile into the Zephyrim.
Gets the gift card. The person who goes 3-0, but you get 3 games in, basically guaranteed.
It's -1.
Runes on it. Yeah. 1 at -1.
Well, no, isn't it? Don't you subtract 1? Oh, never mind.
Unless you have fly, which you do.
Worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and charge with this Dawn Eagle into them.
Okay. I don't know if that
Wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I actually need? So,
I mean, if you're gonna reroll it, I would just reroll it and then see if it matters.
he gets to reroll for free. So
Yeah, I know. I'm saying this roll failed. Just roll it again, and if you don't roll like a 12 or something, we don't need to.
oh, okay.
You get me? We don't have to do all the complicated thing.
Yeah, the reroll's free.
Yeah, that's fine. Do I want to?
Manny P, yeah, you do have to use the same list, so if you are a chronic list hopper,
No, I think that's just.
you've got to lock in.
Okay.
I was terrible at that when I played Space Marines. Space Marines are like the worst faction for a list hopping
I don't
person.
get Stranglehold because I only killed one. I don't get grind them down, sorry. I do get Stranglehold.
So the second Sister Serpentia unit survives. That's a huge deal.
5 primary?
Because they are now going to potentially get through and start ripping apart this stuff on Objective 3. Knocked Chiandok to 5 primary because the Unstoppable Destroyer Shield Captain is an objective secured unit. But I imagine that we just Dan is going to be able to just push a unit back into Objective 5 here, be almost untouchable for the rest of the game, wipe all these Sagittarium out, take that banner away next turn. And that will be what's up. They're just continuing their inexorable march forward. Not to mention the fact that if these two Sagittarium had pushed out to block off the solar flare, you could have gotten shots into this unit and potentially killed them. I think, yeah, big missed opportunity there from Glorak. I think at the very least he could have had the one Sagittarium on the objective. I guess the danger is that the Sketsaria could potentially use them as a charge target. If you put them here and here, the Solar Pulse drops them here, and they go for a charge that way, but it seems unlikely, I'm going to be honest. You're going for a 9-inch... Like, your opponent has a 9-inch charge to get in. Currently, it's only going to be an 8 or a 7 maybe, so it would have been easier anyway as it stands. Yeah, so I do think Glorak did make a mistake there. We'll see how it goes. He is pretty far ahead on primary with that 15-point turn last round. And so few long-range options on the table for the Adeptus Mechanicus. I mean, he's going to be able to knock out... the Disintegrators will continue to shoot, probably knock out both of the Palace Grav attacks. But that's about it. So how are people feeling about the, as we move into the late game phase of this game here, the players almost at parity for objective, for score. We can see Glorak obviously with a big lead in terms of secondary objectives and primary objectives outside of that to the last point that Chiandok has, the to the last points that Chiandok still has on the table, that he will. It's probably unlikely that he'll lose. I don't think he's going to lose 35 additional Skitarii as the game goes on. Ferris counting it for Glorak. Taking a look at our predictions here. It looks like we were 73% in favor of the DanK Imperium to 27% in favor of Glorak. But Glorak showing us up a little bit. He said, I believe in myself, even if you don't. Yeah, Custodes really shown us, the power of this Codex, especially with those Venatari Custodians, with the Caladius Grav Tanks. Those are all good profiles of killing Adeptus Mechanicus stuff, especially Iron Strider Palastarii. Almost a perfect profile to kill Iron Striders, to be honest. A crack grenade at the Palace Grav Tank coming out of the Canoness. All right.
She got infected. Oh, crack grenade, okay.
All right, what do we got? A save. All right, well, that was fine.
Yeah, it's the story of my life. Crack grenade.
Yeah, I guess the power of the Imperial Armor Compendium, chat. That's true. Glorak should have dedicated a tank to take care of the 5 Repentia and only put the biker on to object the objective. I think maybe, yeah, I think that you're probably right there, chat. I think he would have been in such a stronger position if he were to kill a Repentia. I think there is some Adeptus Mechanicus tech in this list. I think that's why the Caladius are in it.
The Zephyrim.
They really have a good profile into Adeptus Mechanicus.
Okay.
And if you're worried about Vanguard, moving into vehicles over organic troops helps a lot. Because the vehicles are not affected by enriched rounds.
Crack grenade. 1 AP1.
Saved.
This guy's like sign up for a 4-leaf clover program or something.
Yeah, Glorak also rolling lights out on saves this game. He's at like 70% for his 4-ups. Easy game.
Alright, so this tank over here, so he's gonna...
Maru with the sub.
Why am I sub to this nerd? He's casting Warhammer? What an absolute geek. Get me off this platform.
Which one? There's 2.
What a geek.
One up here that I can't see.
Yep.
I am a geek, chat.
I can't shoot this guy.
You know me so well.
No, because he's got Lookout Sarah at the moment.
Right, but he's not, I guess I would have had to kill both of these.
70% for something that should be 50%? Yeah. I mean, it's fine except that it's
Okay, so...
you know, it's been dozens of them over the course of the game.
Energy cannon. Two at AP1.
Which one's this into?
This one.
You were firing at -1 to hit there, yeah?
He's +1 to hit.
Okay. Both go through. And doesn't explode.
Stubbers. Three armor saves on the other one.
Saved.
I'm doing okay today, chat. Just chilling and casting some Warhams. Pretty good day, all told, I think.
Right, 5 at AP2.
We do have another game after this as well, chat. Going live, it'll be in about 2 hours from now.
Yep.
That's going to be Ashley Thompson, the one and only Lanaya, versus Jonathan playing Eldari. So that'll be an exciting game. Sororitas versus Eldari is always a good matchup.
Captain, does he feel it?
These aren't 3 inches. It's 3 inches. So it should only hit this guy.
You.
Yeah, BBW's, chat.
Just out. Okay, cool. Does the
Yeah,
captain feel it?
I intentionally put them up there.
Yeah, he does.
So explosion from the Palace Grav tank
Okay.
wounds the shield
So
captain.
this
It'll be interesting whether the Zephyrim go into him. I
they're all gonna shoot
sort of
into
feel like they don't, but
the one guy who's by
who
himself.
knows?
Yep.
Should be 15 guys in that unit. One's for Marshall. Seven AP wanting to recover.
So 3s. Takes 2.
The Manipulus will shoot it to the guy with 1 win left.
So I guess we did touch the wall with these guys. Interesting.
183.
He's fine.
Come on, man.
Just trying so hard. What did they shoot at? Did they shoot anything?
We're gonna put 5
Did they
of
shoot?
these guys
They
into
were pincher?
the guy who's on 1 wound, and then
Did they touch the wall and then not
15
shooting? I don't remember. Yeah. I mean, in fairness, chat, I mean, Adeptus Mechanicus are only down a point right now because DanK went first and has, you know, scores top around. The Custodes are solidly in the lead of this game. They are almost guaranteed another 10 points on primary the coming turn.
Or AP2. This is into the back one, yeah?
This should be a relatively easy max out for Custodes, assuming they don't get tabled.
Nope, he's fine.
Which, I mean, is close.
Okay. Rest of the unit.
Yeah, I do think Glorak. I mean, it's
Down at AP2, ignore cover.
we have a bird's eye view of the game, obviously, chat, and you know we can kind of see things a little bit more clearly than the players who are focusing on so many things at once. But I do think that this flank of the table maybe was a little bit of a misplay from Glorak. But that does losing that guy does make that charge much harder for this Guitarii. Looks like they're going to go to a 10 or a 9, I guess, to get in. Which is a little bit awkward. That is what you needed to do if you were going to Solar Pulse that unit in anyway. Or Solar Flare it in, excuse me. Solar Pulse is different. Although they effectively have that all the time since they ignore cover.
He's gonna shoot.
Imagine having a 5-point upgrade on a unit that shoots
Shoot everything in the
80 shots at
Okay.
like 20-something inch range. And, what is it? 80 shots at 17-inch range? That just lets him ignore cover. If only. Would be nice.
6 armor saves.
He did pull the closest model, chat. That's why he's 10 inches away. He was 7-inch charge away, but now he's 10. 19.5? Oh, it is 19.5. You're right, chat.
Missiles.
In my head, I had it 37, but it's 39.
4 at AP2.
So ripping against the shield captain now. Force it. Oh, no! He fails all the saves, chat! Yikes.
8 damage.
8 damage on the shield captain.
Okay, I'll take his feel no pains.
Yeah. Just gonna roll them 5-ups. Let's see what we get. Uh-oh. Losing the shield captain could be huge here, chat. Okay, only 5 go through.
5.
He's gonna be alive on 1. Oh no, the dice swing right back in DanK's favor. He was complaining about his opponent's saves all game, and now that shield captain just ate 6 damage out of nowhere. Oh my god. Thought he had the back one he could have kept and made... No, the back one was in a different unit, chat. There were 3 custodians here. There was 1 here and 1 here. This one was a separate unit from the other 2. So Dan had shot that guy first to kill the guy in the end, and that was shooting into the unit of 2 guys. Which is why the one remaining is the one in the middle.
Yeah, I'll CP roll that. He's fine.
So CP rolling the last possible save on the shield captain to keep him alive. Oh boy, yeah. But now the Zephyrim have a much easier time killing that dude. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, I really wanted that for the wherever the other side, but
Okay, so I think we're gonna go to charges.
okay.
We'll declare these rangers into this one guy.
Yep.
It's fine. Just what we needed.
So we did get the 9-inch charge
I
on the
wanted
Rangers.
Tanglefoot over there, but I couldn't lose the shield captain.
Objective 5. Oh, no. But I think the shield captain might still die. Maybe saving the Tanglefoot would have been better. So that's going to break the banner on Objective 5, grab it, give it to the Mechanicus, excuse me. And I have to imagine that the Repentia here kill everything on this objective as well. Oh, this turn went so poorly for Mechanicus. Or so for Custodes, excuse me. It went so well for Mechanicus. I think we were saying that the previous round would have been sort of where things got made or broken for Mechanicus, and it was feeling really bad. They weren't really doing any damage, but this turn they killed both Palace. They killed one of the Sagittarium units. They're going to kill all of the Venatari and the Vexillus Praetor, and probably kill the Shield Captain as well. I think Custodes get left with 3 Sagittarium after this turn. Oh, and they make a big charge into the Sagittarium Guard on 2 as well? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Custodes might be tabled after this turn, chat. I guess if you're chaining back to get the +1 to wound, I guess probably not, but... Hot damn, chat. Wild stuff. Kidder Crew having issues with his stream, maybe? It shows okay on my end. I can see it in my little Twitch preview thing here. But if anybody else has issues, let me know.
I'll shoot 3 dice anyway. It's fine. Canoness will charge the Minotaur.
Okay.
Guess I'll just put it right there, 'cause- The Zephyrin will charge the Shield Captain.
Okay.
All right, Shield Captain, stay strong here, buddy. We need you to survive. Although that feels unlikely.
Is there a chance to deliver?
Dan did not take the Passion. He took the +1 to advance and charge, chat.
Okay, so you have no CPs, you can interrupt. So we'll go to fights, we'll do...
He needs to roll 3 ups on the Shield Captain. He's got a 3+ invulnerable save. I mean, the +1 to advance and charge is important. I think that's a fine pick. It means that the Repentia can get in without requiring Miracle Dice, so they sort of operate independently, which I think is fine. I mean, we're seeing here, obviously, that the unit is doing very well on its own while being souped in. These are Zephyrim, chat. They have Power Swords. Plus, they're Bloody Rose, so they're +1 AP anyway.
Strength 3, so...
So, I mean, fortunately for the Custodes, I don't think that there's enough here to kill both the Vexillus Praetor and the Venatari Custodians, custodian, the remaining guy.
All saved.
Oh, man. All sixes
Repentia.
on the Repentia Superior. So the Repentia swinging into the Sagittarum. We activated the Repentia Superior first so we could move her up to get the aura farther in. So all the Repentia will be able to swing. 20 attacks. We need to convert 6 through a 4+ invulnerable save. It is unlikely they do that, but we'll see.
15 attack.
No Emperor's Auspice available either. Yeah, only 11 go through. Winning on 2s. 9 saves. Let's see if those 4-ups will continue to be good for the Custodes. Survey says... Come on, buddy. Here we go. 9 saves. 1, 2, 3.
Lose 2.
4 go down. 1 guy survives. Whew. Hold the baby. Oh, boy. And I think we go for a tri-point on that last guy. I might have pulled him out of melee. That's okay, though. Just so you don't end up getting tri-pointed. Because if he's out of melee, they stand still. He shoots 4 shots at them, kills half the unit charges, kills the rest of them by himself. As it stands, he's going to be okay.
The Canoness into the Venatori. So that is...
So the Vexillus will survive. Thank goodness. So we will get a 10-point primary turn for Glorak. Moving into Battle Round 4. They do not have a pistol, chat. They are only assault weapons on the Sagittarum.
Strength is she?
She's strength
5, so 4s.
So one at... I thought she was strength 6 for some reason. So it's one at AP 3 damage 2.
Saved.
Okay.
Ooh, and the Venatari blanks out the Canoness attacks. All right.
Heck of a nerd.
Is it? Can it happen? So this is the Scutarii onto Objective 5. We've broken the banner, outnumbered the Sagittarum there, and we will just press a billion bodies into this dude.
So let's see. 7.
They're just, these guys are just like standing each other's shoulders, just like holding him down. Just make sure he doesn't go anywhere.
Whatever.
One move. 2 up. He's fine. Who cares?
Saved.
Okay. And then the Zephyrim. So 5 for her and 4 for each of these. So that's 17.
17 attacks onto the shield captain, chat. This is going to be important. This... I think this may determine if we get a stranglehold this coming turn, which will be a big deal.
5 on your wall.
5 3-ups. Come on, drum roll, please, chat. Let's get some sound effects in the chat here. 5 3-ups. 2 go through. He has no CP to reroll. 2 5-ups here for the damage ignore roll. No, it makes neither of them.
He dies.
The shield captain is dead. And objective 1 secured for the Mechanicus. And I think that is...
I think it's your fights now.
That is the end of Stranglehold for us today.
My attack's back.
No tri-points on these models, Chad.
This Sagittarium.
Not that it makes a huge difference, I don't think. So if you ever play against Custodes and you feel like that shield captain on Don Eagle Jet Bike is too difficult to kill, God himself could not remove him from the table. Remember. Tony Stark did it in a cave with a bunch of rocks, okay? What's the quote? No, a box of scraps. That was the quote. God damn, I messed it up.
The Venatari is going to go into... It's going to put everything into the Canoness.
The chat command is... the lists command is messed up a little bit, chat. I'll go ahead and post the list in for you. It just will.
So 3 AP3.
It only posts lists from the previous game, and I don't know why.
2 damage each.
There you go. There, this should be in the chat there, everybody. 2 swings going through on the Canoness.
Misericordia.
Oh, can we get her with the Misericordia? Oh my
It's-
god. Wounds on a 2? No. Not like
Failed
that.
to wound.
Or wounds on a 3, actually. It's not +1
This
strength.
last Sagio over here.
It's not quite a Tarsus buckler.
Or AP2.
Sorry, this is for what?
From this Sagittarium over here into your Skitari.
It's an Imperium soup majority Mechanicus, chat.
4 dead.
I put them as Mechanicus on the stream because I know I'm just going to continue to call them Mechanicus. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Leadership for them. They will fail.
So morale failed on these Skitarii Rangers. You do have to be a little bit worried about that. Because if they end up taking too much damage, they could die, and they are worth 5 points. That might sink the game if they end up going down. We only lose 2. But that only leaves 9 remaining. Below half now. Okay. And Glorak still at 10
10 primary?
primary.
Yeah, according to.
Now, he's got to consider if he can stop Dan from grabbing a 15 on primary on the final round, because that would make things very difficult for Glorak. Now, he only has 4 models left, in fairness, so he doesn't have a lot of options. But it might be worth... he could potentially get the Vexillus here, put it on the edge there, try for a long bomb charge onto Objective 1. If he gets it, he's got a pretty good chance of clearing it. He's got a 3+ invulnerable save. Or not clearing it, but touching it to grab the secondary, to grab the objective with Obsec. He could kill a Zephyrim or 2. He's probably not going to die with the 3+ invulnerable save from the Storm Shield. You have the Venatari Custodian, just pull back or stay in melee, whatever, and try to kill the Canoness. Continue to Obsec Objective 3. Have this guy fall back out of combat to protect that banner. It's not a great plan, but it is a plan. So it looks like it would be a 10-inch charge for that Vexillus Praetor to try to get in on the Zephyrim. You do have the top of turn CP, so you could reroll it. And that would put DanK down to a maximum of 35 primary, whereas you've already scored 45. And there is a non-zero chance that this Venatari Custodian just doesn't die to the swing back, and you end up scoring the bottom round 5 points for another 5. So you would be at 40 on primary. So you'd be up 5 primary plus your secondary objective lead. Although that's closing pretty quickly as Engage on all fronts and Raise the Banners continues to convert for the Adeptus Mechanicus. This is going to be a nail-biter finish, chat. Custodes have done a great job. That last turn was brutal for them. They lost a ton of pieces on the table, but Glorak also with a significant time advantage. He's got plenty of time to think through his last turn and try to close the lead, or at least stem the bleeding. Still up 9 points, 67 to 58.
Yep, okay, I'm just moving the Vexilla onto...
I think I would have... I would be kicking myself a little bit about the placement of the last Sagittarum, or the removal of the last Sagittarum from the front instead, or the back instead of the front. Because I think with 5 models remaining in the Repentia squad, there is a very significant chance that the Sagittarum, the last remaining Sagittarum, just kills all of the Repentia. And you don't even have to worry about what's going on in that objective. I want to say, I think we just saw the solar pulse to put the tech priest engines here up in the table quarter here to grab that engage on all fronts. In case this big long unit failed its charge. So I don't believe that there's a solar flare left on the table for the Lucius. Vexillus charging into the Canoness. So we are going to be going for the grind them down instead of fighting for the primary objective. So we're giving up the 15-point primary, putting Dan to 40 points. Three wounds onto the Canoness with the Vexillus. She fails one, and it's going to go down.
She's a 3-up, so she's dead.
Boom. All right. Good job, Vexillus. That opens the Venatari to try to kill the Repentia Superior. That would give the Custodes 2 kills, although they lost 2. They killed a Sagittarum unit and 2 Palace Grav Tanks and the Shield Captain last turn, so you'd have to kill a lot to get grind. I don't think you get grind. I think grind is out of your reach.
2 saves.
2 saves onto the Sagittarum. Do we see him go down?
Hold on.
Both saved.
1 more because I'm still +1 to wound.
He doesn't go down. He might take 2. What do we got?
No, you're not. You're not within 6. You're 6.1.
Are you using the snap?
Huh?
You're using... Oh. Okay, that's weird. Yep, yeah, that's fine. I thought I... Must be my mistake. I thought I had this one in 6, but...
Okay. I'm going to do the Venatari into your Superior now.
So that is a big deal. The Sagittarum Custodian making all of his saves will hold that objective for Glorak and be another annoying obstacle that the Admech have to remove.
She's dead. It's damage 2, right?
Yeah.
Ah, wow. All right, and the Venatari kills that last remaining Sororitas.
I'll activate over here.
There's a banner on both sides, chat, and we could put another banner down for the Adeptus Mechanicus as well. 2 more banners, actually. So they could drop 2 banners. So they would be up to 5, 7 at the end of the game. 8 at the end of the game, excuse me.
7.
Versus 2 more on banners to 9 for Custodes. Unless they drop a banner here if they survive, which they might actually.
2 saves.
So, yeah, so Dan will score the 15-pointer top of round 5, so he's going to be at 40 primary. He gets up to 5 on banners, and there is a non-zero chance he grabs an additional 3 on engage up to 12. So 12, 22 with another 1, 2, 3, 4 banners. He's up to 30. So he would be at 70 points, 80 with the painting. Glorak, assuming Glorak loses one of these 2 objectives, which I think is very possible, he will be down to 5-point primary if he loses 2 units. So he would be on also 40 primaries. So they would blank there. He would not get Stranglehold, not get Grind, get 1, 2 on banners up to 9. So he would be at 22 secondary versus...
I don't get Stranglehold. I don't get...
What did we say? 31? So I think he'd be down 9 in that case.
Over to you, and you get...
They're good on morale.
They're okay on morale, yeah?
Yeah, I just rolled.
Yeah, I think Gadmec take it very closely.
I think that's it.
God, chat.
So I think I get a 15 this turn.
Yeah, big 15. There it is. Up 6 for AdMech so far.
Zephron back here.
Yep. Here comes the banners. Put a banner there. Put a banner on 4.
All the buffs are still on that unit.
Uh-oh. Dan, we need a banner on 4.
Marshall's going to use
There's a tech priest right here.
program retreat on this unit.
He's not doing anything. I mean, maybe... yeah, he's going to fall back from that Sagittarium. I'm just... falling back from the Sagittarium.
Should still have Battle Sphere. I don't know where the marker went for it.
Yeah, so I'm not touching that wall anymore. So he can't be shot from out. He's not touching the wall. The wall is here.
Yeah, but this guy hasn't moved, right?
He piled in to your Skitari when you were there.
Sure, I still have Obsec on this though. So.
Yeah, it's just it can't be shot by the other.
Yeah, that's fine.
He has a 1 CP heroic, yeah, chat. But I think you would rather take his gunshots. I don't know, chat. Dan's sort of just thrown his models around in the fight phase, so he might not have actually been based. But I mean, I think I'm not 100% sure. I guess you take less morale checks if you stay in melee, but the 4 gunshots are better than his 4 attacks in melee. So you would much rather take the 2 melee punches than the gunshot into the melee punch. We need something else on that objective.
These guys will put a banner down this objective.
All right, we got the banner on objective 4. Thank goodness.
Engine Seer is going to solar flare this unit.
Oh, we do have a solar flare active. So I guess the engine seer just advanced into the corner there. He didn't flare himself,
Yep.
which makes sense.
Why not done that? Time's randomly been ticking down on. It's fine.
Okay. Oh, you know they can just come in. Okay. That's fine.
Oh, good.
Serpentia, fall back. Alright, I'm gonna spend my 2 CP on this unit for them to have rapid fire too.
Okay.
So we're gonna put. So this guy's outside of range for that. Okay. Well, we'll get to that. Let me shoot these 6 guys first into this guy.
I don't think it makes a huge difference, but the ranger unit does have to be wholly within 6 inches of the engines here. So I think he'd just have to be like here or something. Yeah.
He's also too close to the Venetari right now as well. But
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
I mean, I'm only shooting.
just with like one model.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
let's do this stuff.
Now, Chad, it's definitely wholly within 6 inches. Like,
Whatever. Fuck it. It's too complicated.
the rule is if you set up 2 units with a solar flare, they have to be wholly within 6 inches of each other. Full
So
stop.
we're gonna put these 6 guys into this guy. Ouch! Just one EP1.
He's okay.
It's not allowed to be okay. Alright, so this disintegrator is going to shoot his energy cannon into this Sagittarium by the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Three to AP1. And he's not going to have cover.
Ah,
Fine.
the saves continue, chat.
Safe, man.
This has been insane to watch.
Alright, other disintegrator will also go into that guy.
Is it in range?
He didn't give himself his 1 banner point. Oh, yeah. So we should mark that for him. Here we go.
Okay, I guess he's going into this one then.
Okay.
One at AP1.
Jeez.
He's fine.
These are not good rolls. These are
Well, I guess if I shoot you off of this, you can stand on it anyway. So I
These are
just
bad
shoot
rolls.
These, and then that guy can't stand on 2 objectives. So
yeah.
makes more sense.
Yeah, the goal should be to shoot all of the rangers
So we'll
into
just,
all of the custodes.
We'll put 12 into the Praetor and 8 into the Custodian.
They are
Okay.
it's a 1-up save in the Praetor. EP2 puts him at a 3. 4-up save in the Custodian. I mean, it should kill them, but we'll see. Sisters next, chat. Yep. That game starts in about an hour.
First. So that's 24 shots.
TTS giving us a little lag just to be suspenseful. Misses almost half, unfortunately. Well,
4 hit AP2. Ignoring cover.
Into which one?
The Venatari.
they were -1 there to hit, right?
Yeah. They
Cool.
should.
No, they have Raymond at Technomartyr. They ignore modifiers.
Oh, cool.
He takes 1.
3 more for engage. Yeah, he's got the
I have roll
engage.
enough shots, right? Because if I put 8 in them and they 4 each, that's 32. So I have 8 more shots.
How many dice did you roll?
24. I just can't do math. One more save, so that probably doesn't matter.
He makes it.
Okay, and then 12
Yeah,
into
that's
this
too bad.
guy, that should be 48 shot.
And this is the guy who's going to be a little bit tougher to kill with that 3+ save. Let's see if it matters. Look at all these tokens. There's so many tokens. Am I streaming Jimmy's game tomorrow? I don't believe that I am, but it should be. I'm going to talk to
So
Ashley
15
and see
on
if
that.
she'll have it on her stream. So 15 saves on the Vexillus. Does he go down? 1, 2, 3,
takes 4.
4. Oh my god.
All right.
What do you do? You know? What
I'll
even?
declare charge with these guys into the crater.
Yeah. Let's see if we
I'm
can.
going to Tanglefoot.
Okay, I rolled a 5.
They
so-
need an extra 6.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. Guess that's it.
Yeah, I think with that 1 CP in the bank,
Be over to you. I think I'll.
just as a.
My, 3
I think Dan probably a little bit tilted there, which is fair that his opponent didn't lose either of these Custodes to 80 shots out of this Skitarii Ranger unit. Should have flipped to his charge phase and given his opponent to respond with the Tanglefoot, because the Tanglefoot is proactive. Although there's no reason you wouldn't charge there, so I think the Tanglefoot gets used regardless. But that's going to give Glorak 10 points on primary. He's going to go to 78, 78. He's going to get 2 additional for banners. He didn't lose anything, so all he has to do is kill these 3 Sisters Repentia. He gets grind them down, and I think that wins him the game.
The Vexilla's going to banner here.
Yeah. He maybe goes in here. Because if he randomly kills these 5 Skitarii Rangers, like, he dumpsters the game. He also removes 5 points from his opponent's army. Wow, chat. You'll gift 5 subs if I stream it?
Okay.
I think I'm gonna be out of town,
I'm not going to
unfortunately,
get
at that time.
Stranglehold. Could
That is a tempting offer, though.
on to the shooting phase. This Sagittarium
I think the only thing that matters here is over here.
over here as well. Oh,
You have options. You already have this, so that doesn't.
yeah, but if I kill those and don't kill your Skitarii, then I get grind.
Yeah, sure.
So
The move to objective
Sagittarium's
4
gonna
is
shoot into
tough.
one with just the 1 profile.
That would have been a...
This is over here.
actually impossible
Yeah.
charge.
2
Or
at
advance, because
AP1
he was
on the
here,
function.
right? So I think it's more than 18 inches away, so I don't think you could get it there. Biscuit butt!
Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think he could have gone to 4. These are obsic anyway, so he would have contested it and
2
held
AP2.
2 to 3. It wouldn't have mattered. $12 and then a charge? Yeah, it would have been tough, I guess. Would have been like an 11.
And this Sagittarium is going to use the Emperor's Hand and fire both profiles into your Skitarii there.
Y'all should put stuff in... Y'all can put stuff in the voice to text, even if it's obnoxious, as long as it's voice to text. I don't care. I'm good either way. Would have held 3 to 2 with 1 contested.
So 2 at -1 and ignoring your...
Assuming he kills the
idea.
Skitarii, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, kills 2.
Another one. Another one at -3.
Okay. Sagittarium has to kill 3 Skitarii Rangers
2 should be down 3 there. Yeah, okay. And
To
then he's gonna charge
deny
them.
the last point. Oh my god, chat. This is so bad if that guy makes this charge and kills these models.
He's in.
I mean, he's going to make the charge. It's easy. Oh, clock didn't get switched. Not that it matters.
Twos.
Yeah, he'll max
Ooh.
primary, chat. 2 miss, so we'd have to be relying on the
1.
morale. Makes the invuln save. Never mind.
AP2, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, we do get the 1 kill.
Yeah, they have it.
They have an alpha, so they lead 7. They lost 3. So it's a 5 or a 6 to fail.
So I guess let me just roll them around here and see if...
Yeah.
Yep.
Here comes the morale. You rolled a 1. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, so he'll retain the 2 the last points.
So I get...
I believe we will grind 3 to 0.
And another 2 for banners at the end of the game.
And then 2 for banners.
Because
and
our banners here with the Vexilla.
Mm-hmm.
And you get, is it 3 banners? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we already scored the banners room. Because he was at 5 at the top and then got the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll do it. 8380.
That
Chat.
close.
What is that? No tie, chat. 8380. What the hell? What a game.
Yeah.
That was
I mean, I'm
super
sure you
solid.
You made so many 5-up invuls on your palette.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So so I mean, a couple notes. Obviously, the flare shields on the Caladius and the Palace were incredible. The Palace ate an entire, or the Caladius, excuse me, ate an entire round of Iron Strider Ballistarius shooting, and just bounced it off the invulnerable save. He just took nothing from it. The Vexillus Praetor did mad damage. Obviously, the big 80 drop of Scutarii Rangers putting 38 and 40. Is it 38 and 36 and 48 4 shots or whatever it is into the two models on the objective. Not killing either of them was a big deal. All of those things were enormous. And if the Sagittarium had gone down to the Belarus energy cannons, if one of those models had gone down to the Belarus energy cannons, he doesn't get the stranglehold or the grind them down on the last turn. So like there were so many things that came into it, but especially with that grind them down, where if you just boss your saves pretty well, like there's nothing your opponent can really do. If you have any questions for the players, go ahead and throw them in the chat there.
Probably shouldn't have put the 5 in reserve, so that I could have put one here turn 1, but I don't think that makes a difference.
Yeah, that was an incredibly good game. Like, you had me on the edge of my seat for the whole thing. Like,
yeah, that was wild. How good are 2+ armor saves? Am I right? And 5+ invulns? And 5+ invulns. Whoa. Good stuff. Yeah, chat wanting to know how you guys feel after the end of the game that close.
Well, I wish that he didn't make as many 5-up.
Yeah, that's very fair. Did you? So there was I was a little bit curious that there was the banner on Objective 4, which, I mean, obviously that was a pretty big deal because that thing printed a couple points for Glorak. Dan, did you have the opportunity or inclination to get something there a turn earlier? Because I think that would have made a lot of the secondary objectives a little bit tougher.
I would have had to advance one of these disintegrators. Like I said, I shouldn't have put this 5-man unit in reserve. I should have put them on the table because then they would have been there turn 2.
Yeah.
But that was just an oversight. And I had already put them in reserve, so I was deploying and I couldn't really fix it. But I think I anticipated all his tanks to be dead, on turn 2, not on turn 4. So I think I think that made him pick up a lot more stuff that should have still been alive. Like, I think if I would have made, he would have failed some of those saves, I'd still have between 3 or 4 Iron Striders still left at this point.
Yeah,
which
for sure.
would have helped a lot to pick up all these custodians.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we were mentioning it when it was happening as well, but even dropping the Zephyrim back here when you when you elected to, I think ended up being sort of a prophetic move, because you were like, well, just in case the Caladius somehow doesn't die and turns around and kills the Iron Striders, then at least you'll have something on the objective to hold it. And then that exactly happened, which was so unlikely.
I thought about it and I was like, it would feel really bad if I didn't.
Yeah, if that was just like that, just tanked it right there. Yeah, for sure.
I think I would have got a 5 that turn if that would have happened. So
yeah. So I was interested, and I'm sure some people in chat were as well, about the decision to soup in the Repentia versus taking pure Admech. Do you mind giving us some thoughts on that while you're here?
well, I mean, look at what the Repentia do.
Yeah.
You know, when they don't get Emperor's Auspice, right? But they just pick.
Yeah.
They just pick stuff up.
I mean, even when they do, right? They killed 4 Thanatari.
An 8-man unit of Fulgurites would not have done that.
For sure.
They only have 2 attacks, so like they're just not going to do it.
Right.
And that's why I honestly I didn't really test this. I was like, I just had an idea, and I was like, you know, what if I take Sisters melee instead of trying to use Admech melee units?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the sister stuff, I mean, definitely pulled its weight. I mean, it's I guess a little interesting that the part of the list that seemed like it didn't quite do what it needed to was the Admech side, and the Sororitas was able to really deal an immense amount of damage, even losing a Repentia squad to the Tanglefoot grenade.
Well, the other thing too is like if like just having the Repentia Superior back here and just threatening being able to launch out a Repentia unit every turn.
Right.
It just gives you a lot of pressure in the middle to where you can't just like he wanted to move that 5-man unit up here in the middle, and then he saw these Repentia and was like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Right. Yeah, and I imagine too that a lot of the game plan of your opponents ends up being, you know, how quickly can I move across the table and start engaging as much as possible so it stops shooting the crap out of me. But obviously, if you have like 30 Repentia sitting in your deployment zone, you can't really do that, because then everything that goes in there just dies.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Also, I admittedly kind of forgot that I even had the Solar Flare until I used it. I was like, oh, I could have used that earlier.
Oh yeah, we were we were talking about that a little bit.
I knew it was there. I just I was holding the CP back for the Tanglefoot when you used it.
Yeah.
I guess the thing is like the Admech book is bloated. There's like so many, like, look at all these little buffs that I have to keep track of, and then like I don't even have the Doctrina and the Canonical, right? I'd have to keep track of that too. And there's just so much like management of different things that you have to like keep in your head.
Right.
I don't know. It requires a lot of brain power to keep track of all these things. So.
And it all being command phase buffs for the most part, you have to consider them the turn before instead of just when it's happening. It's not like a Space Marine captain where you just have to run him up to the unit that he's giving rules to, right? You know, you have to have the units in position to receive the buff the turn previous, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. Well, except for the Skitarii ones, because you can just throw them wherever you want if they have data tether.
For sure, that's true. Yeah. That must help take off some of the cognitive load quite a bit.
But yeah, there's like 3 buffs on the Manipulus that he just has to be there in range to give it to him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's one thing I would say is like if people are deploying, see where they're deploying their Manipulus, because it's going to kind of telegraph where they're going to put units, because like they have to be in range if they want to buff.
Yep. We had another question for Glorak. David is asking about the fight over Objective 5. Why you elected to keep the Sagittarum squads in line of sight for so long, instead of just moving them back to hide them and keep the presence on Objective 5 a little bit longer.
So in the first turn, when I put them forward to shoot at the Vanguard, I was hoping to force them to a leadership check. And then when they came back later, the only reason I put them against the wall was because I was assuming that the 2 units of Sagittarium would at least do decent damage to the Repentia squad, and then he just made all his feel no pains.
Yeah. That does happen sometimes. I've heard that 5-up sometimes you roll a lot of them.
Yeah, well, except on my shield captains.
Except on the poor shield captain, the 4 failed saves just got vaporized. Yeah. It did It did feel like what went around came around a little bit there.
It was pretty sad that this Skitarii unit didn't pick up either of these two models either. It was...
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that basically is what won me the game there. Is having them there to be able to tangle foot you and still be able to banner this while killing that unit of Repentia.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I would have killed both of these, then
yeah, it's just over, right? Because there's only one model left.
He would have lost 5 points on primary.
Yep.
Because this one guy couldn't hold more than one objective.
No. And like all of my Tanglefoots coming in clutch and making you fail the charges.
I'm just glad the Zephyrim killed the captain up here.
Yeah, well, he just needed to be on like 3 wounds, and it's when you fail saves, you fail saves.
Well, the other thing too is like if I hadn't moved these back, also on my turn, you would have been able to charge them where they were at.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost moved the captain up the side of the wall to charge them through the wall there, but I figured having the lookout sir protection from the palace just for like stopping one thing from killing him, rather than having to just suffer or everything, was a better choice.
Yeah, besides the deployment mistake on these rangers, which I don't know that there was anything. Maybe besides not using the solar flare sooner, I don't think there's anything else that I really screwed up on.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I might have done differently, basically because of the how the Skitarii are, maybe I should have held just one unit of Sagittarium back, and then had the other unit when you were sort of around the midfield come out and charge you and hit this objective, because they get 12 attacks in combat.
Yeah, I just had to put this unit up here. I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, I was we were talking a little bit about I think it was turn 2 or 3, there was the 15 remaining Skitarii that were right here that were just off of getting to this objective. I almost wonder if they were like 5.6 through the difficult, I think. So they would have had to advance and to have advanced, and I almost wonder if it was worth taking the turn of shooting off just to get to the objective and break the banner and make a stranglehold almost impossible. Like I think it would have been 4 points just between the stranglehold and the banner breaking to take off the one turn of shooting.
If he'd have done that, that would have forced me to have brought at least one of the Sagittarium units out, Emperor's Hand them so they get to shoot all of their stuff without penalty, and then just charge into what's left. So then getting 12 shots that are all just going to start destroying Skitarii, and then the 12 attacks in combat. But yeah, I held them back because he didn't take the objective. So if he had have taken it, it would have forced the issue, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, I just hoped that they would pick up these guys and he would just lose that objective.
For sure, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all from us, guys. Thanks for the super close game, and Glorak, obviously, congratulations on taking it down.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll make it through the group stage.
Yeah.
See what else I can pull out.
Fair enough. All right. Well, looking forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yep.
Cheers.
Yep.
All right, chat. This is going to be it for us today. Oh, my God. What a close finish there. Yeah. I mean, there were so many things that could have gone differently, I think, for Dan to win this game. Obviously, Glorak's dice were pretty good, but I think there were a couple of misplays. And I mean, he mentioned them himself, that his deployment was maybe a little bit light, and he could have just put more stuff on the table. And he was saying it almost immediately after he deployed. I think it was interesting that he wasn't considering his solar flare as the game went on, because we were thinking about it every turn. Where's the solar flare going to be? Where's this tech priest going to end up teleporting people? And he wasn't even considering it. Just so interesting. I do wonder if he was maybe missing, radium carbines or something in this list too. Because the Skitarii Rangers are fine, but it's that wounding on 5s that really kills them. Wounding on 5s into a 2-up or a 3+ save is so awkward. But a bunch of dudes wounding on with the 4+ to wound, which is not only a little bit more effective, I think, than the additional shots, but also is only 1 CP versus 2. So you get to save a CP with the Vanguard and get a billion shots into these guys and just force a bunch of 2+ or 3+ saves on them. Might have been okay. I think it probably certainly would have killed these two guys. But anyway, that's all for me today, or for this game, everyone. Excuse me, not today, because we have another game in 1 hour, I believe. Yeah, so come back in about 50 minutes, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. That's going to be Ashley Thompson versus Jonathan with the Eldari. Very close game on this one. But let's go raiding. Angus, what is Ash's channel? Which Ash? Do you mean Ash C or Ashley? Ash C is Kiania. Ashley, I don't remember. I don't remember what her channel is. It's something else. We'd have to get it from her. Ash C is, I'll drop it in chat. It is here. Here you go. All right. Let's see what's going on in the Warhammer sphere tonight. Dice Check. Playing a game. We can go hang out with Dice Check for the next hour or so, and then we will be back with that final game today. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to the T5S2 Season 3 Invitational. I'll be back in about an hour. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, I've got to do that. Let's do the outcome real quick. Wow, people, these upsets so far. The Glorak Custodes. That was 27% for Glorak. So the Glorak stands over here got about 10,000 channel points to them. Oh dang. Wow, yeah, we've had so many upsets. We had Weissnide upset Ferris, or Ferris upsets Weissnide, which a lot of people were voting against on day one as well. It's been wild. All right. Set up this host. Let's go. Let's go rating. To Dice Check. Goodbye, everyone. Hang out with Dice Check. Say hello to Magikarp for me. And I will be back in 45 minutes. So I'll see you then.
I think it's my turn to hit you back.
Nah, I got the other bike.
Oh,
that was
that
just
was the
Sergeant.
bike,
Yeah,
sorry.
because he has a chainsaw. Right. So this guy, 3s. Fail 1. 3s. All right.
Nailed it.
Nice.
Are you ready for the pain?
Yes, please.
Did you tag this group or want to?
Oh, for like piling and stuff?
Yeah, because over this naked guy is.
Nah, because I don't want to do that because it's more hits.
All right.
Yeah.
The naked guy was a banner, so.
Yeah.
All right. Here I come. I am Sinimon.
Yep.